In view of Iran's nuclear program, the seemingly uncompromising policies of the United States and Israel, and escalating military tensions in the region, a slight hope of diplomatic progress is likely to emerge regarding US Iran tensions as US President Donald Trump, while maintaining an aggressive stance, has dispatched a substantial number of naval vessels and military assets to the region and simultaneously signaled a willingness for negotiations. President Trump has stated that massive and formidable ships are heading toward Iran, and it would be preferable if they do not have to be used. While he seeks to engage in talks with Iran, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action (JCPOA), which was finalized in 2015 after extended negotiations among the United States, Russia, China, the United Kingdom, France, and Germany, was designed to curb Iran's nuclear program. But after the United States withdrew from the agreement in 2018, Iran resumed uranium enrichment at an accelerated pace, which heightened global concern. The current position of the United States and Israel is that Iran should not be permitted any degree or any type of uranium enrichment, even for civilian purposes, and they have also insisted upon a reduction in missile range, while Iran regards this demand as infringing upon its sovereignty and views a civilian nuclear program as its legitimate entitlement under international law. From Iran's perspective, a complete ban on uranium enrichment would constitute a devastating blow to Iran's national dignity and sovereignty, which is utterly impossible to accept. The influence of the Israeli lobby in US policymaking is a widely acknowledged reality, which has long been working to permanently disable Iran's nuclear and military capabilities. In this policy context, a deployment surge in US military presence in the Arabian Sea and the Middle East, preparations for cyber warfare, plans for digital blackouts, as well as surveillance of Iranian armed forces and political leadership have surfaced, signaling extensive preparations for a possible military operation. The United States is attempting to ensure that, in the event of an attack, protest movements inside Iran reignite with the support of their ground assets, and pressure is intensified on internal institutions, which external powers can exploit for their purposes. On the other hand, Iran has declared at the United Nations Security Council that it is ready for negotiations. However, any aggression will be met with a harsh and resolute response. The attacks on Iran in June 2025 in relation to the JCPOA have deeply undermined Iran's trust, which has further complicated the diplomatic process. If the balance of military power is assessed, the United States is the world's preeminent military power with a defense budget in 2026 of approximately $900 billion, an amount President Trump has announced will increase to $1.5 trillion by 2027, while Iran's defense budget is approximately $7 to $10 billion, vividly illustrating the stark imbalance of power. However, Iran also possesses ballistic missiles with a range of up to 2,000 kilometers and hypersonic missiles, which pose a significant concern for the United States and Israel, and to some extent help preserve the balance of power in the region. European countries have also adopted a guarded response where the United Kingdom and France stressed diplomacy and negotiations and rejected direct military action, while other European states refrained from taking a clear position. Disturbingly, the global effects of any major conflict in the Middle East would be profoundly far reaching because the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz are vital routes for global oil transportation, where any tension could seriously disrupt the global energy market and economy. Iran's potential allies, Russia and China, can also provide Iran with diplomatic and strategic support against the United States, which could engender a Cold War like situation among global powers. From a historical perspective, whenever the US economy encountered severe challenges, the United States became engaged in some conflict or war, such as the war against Spain in 1898, the Gulf War in 1990, and the Second World War, which bolstered the US economy. In the present era as well, the United States is expanding defense spending to preserve its military superiority, while curtailing the growing influence of China and Russia remains a core objective of US policy. China has become the world's leading industrial and trading country and is expanding its global influence through the Belt and Road Initiative, even as Russia has confronted the European security system through its advance in Ukraine, and all European countries seem unable to openly provide military support to Ukraine against Russia because there is a fear of provoking a third world war. Within this geopolitical context, Iran remains a key resistant actor despite US and Israeli pressure, playing a pivotal role in the regional balance of power. In the current global landscape, relations among the United States, Iran, Israel, China, and Russia are highly complex, and any miscalculation could escalate a regional conflict into a global crisis. The nuclear dispute with Iran, US threats, and regional tensions represent just one aspect of the ongoing struggle among global powers, reflecting shifts in the global system, the rise of new centers of power, and instability in the international order. This is a situation in which Pakistan will need to reassess and strengthen its position and contribute to resolving US Iran tensions. Because if the United States attacks Iran, the regional economic situation, which has already deteriorated from weak to fragile, could spiral toward devastation, affecting the national interests of Pakistan and all countries in the region.